Hey y'all, it's Heel Heat time.
Hi everybody and welcome to Heel Heat. My name is George Coles and this is going to be a Heel Heat Top 10. The topic of this Top 10? Top 10 ways to fix Bray Wyatt. Now, before we get into this, I'm a fan of Bray Wyatt. I have been since the iteration of this character. I think it's a cool character. I think it's one of the more interesting ones. However, I don't think he's been portrayed properly, and I think it's really hurting his overall impact. A lot less people care about him, a lot less people think he's something special. Where I think he could be a transcendent figure, almost like an Undertaker, someone of that nature, where he can be that guy. He can be that force that goes on for years and years as something special. With all that being said, let's get into the 10 ways to fix Bray Wyatt. Number 10, give him a new family. Bray, I think, works best as a cult leader, as someone that's controlling the minds of minions, as you would say. I thought Luke Harper, Eric Rowan, Braun Strowman were all great additions. I would give him a family. I wouldn't make it as solid as Luke and Rowan were for so many years. I'd maybe interchange if people come in and out, start feuds and begin end feuds with the family. I'd add cruiserweights in, I'd add tag teams in, maybe throw in a team like the Ascension who doesn't seem to be gaining any traction. Give them to him, let him see what he can do with them. Added to his company. Put in some people that you wouldn't think would join him. Someone like a Drew Gulak, or someone like Kurt Hawkins. I mean, there's so many ways you could do this. So many ways that the brainwashing could go. It doesn't have to be these backwoods-looking characters that get brainwashed. People join cults from all walks of life in real life, so why not on a television show? Now, my number 9. One of my little pet peeves about Bray is he's active on social media, Instagram, Twitter, all that good stuff, and a lot of times he doesn't stay in character. He'll post pictures like I believe last year it was that he posted pictures eating dinner with the Bullet Club and wearing a Shinsuke Nakamura shirt when he was in Japan, and just different little things like that. To me, it's a little thing, but it could go so far. Keep in the Bray Wyatt character when you're on your social media posts. If you want to have a personal page where all your everyday friends can see, make it a private page. Make it so family and friends can check that out, and then have your Bray Wyatt page for just Bray Wyatt. Make it all his social media. I think, in my opinion, should be in kayfabe, should be in character. I think it will help sell the character. It'll be a different approach from what we see normally in the WWE. I don't want to know that Bray Wyatt's friends with Sami Zayn or whoever it may be. I want to see Bray Wyatt as, again, the guy who's trying to manipulate everything into his favor. Now, our number 8. This is something I thought about when thinking about characters like Bray Wyatt, and I came up with Raven. Raven, when he came to WCW, was offered a contract. He changed the contract and said, if I'm going to be here, I'm going to wrestle under Raven's rules, which made every match a hardcore match, which was a good way to separate and differentiate him from everybody else. I think Bray Wyatt could do a similar thing, where his contract's up, he's going between SmackDown and Raw, and he says, hey, I'm going to make some changes. First off, it's going to be Bray Wyatt's rules, where every match, there are no rules. There's pinfalls can happen anywhere. Countouts don't mean a thing. Disqualifications aren't. There's no such thing as a disqualification. I think it'll add a layer to him, much like it did with Raven, that makes him different than everybody else you see on the show, makes his matches different, than everybody else that you see on the show. And before I go any further, I just thought, I'm sorry, I meant to say this in the beginning, but I'm going to say it right here because it just came in my mind. Not all of these exactly will go together. These are all individual suggestions. However, some will work with each other and some will not. So I'm not saying all 10 of these should be done. I'm just saying these are 10 things that could be done to help Bray. Just getting that out of the way as I thought about it. Sorry, I meant to mention it up front. Sorry about that. Now, number 7. This one, why I mentioned this, goes along with number 10. If you create him a new family, he needs to have layers of protection. In other words, if a face is going after him, whether it be AJ Styles, whether it be John Cena, no matter who it is, to get to Bray Wyatt, they have to go through the Wyatt family. They can't just challenge Bray Wyatt at a pay-per-view. You have to beat Eric Rowan. We'll just use his old family for reference. You have to beat Eric Rowan. You have to beat Luke Harper. You have to beat Braun Strowman. And then once you beat all 3 of them, Bray Wyatt will accept your challenge. Kind of, like I said, it's something that's been done in the past with other stables. The Four Horsemen did it for Ric Flair. Raven did it with his flock. Again, using Raven as an example. Kevin Sullivan did it in his time with Florida Championship Wrestling. So, it's kind of been a tried and true way to make, the leader of a faction special. Evolution did it. Right, Triple H used Randy Orton and Batista as buffers to get to him. So, I mean, it's something that's tried and true. It's something that I think that if they brought it back out for Bray, it'll help his character immensely, in my opinion. Now, our number 6. This goes against everything that I feel in my nature. This goes against, if you watch a lot of my videos and a lot of my top 10 ways to help or change things, I always mention more merchandise, like the Cruiserweight, my top 10 about the Cruiserweights. I thought they should be more merchandise for all the Cruiserweight competitors. This is the opposite. For Bray Wyatt, I don't want him to feel like just another wrestler. I want him to actually feel like a cult leader from the bayous of Louisiana. Now, if I go on WWE Shop, and Bray's on there hawking his newest t-shirt, kind of takes away from that. So to me, less merchandise for Bray Wyatt is more. Now, I'm not saying do away with it altogether, but let's give him maybe one t-shirt. You're going to need, obviously, action figures everybody's going to have on the roster. That's inevitable. Kids want to buy them. Adults like myself want to buy them to collect them. Kids want to buy them to play with them. You need bad and good guys for that. So I understand the action figures, but I don't see the need for Bray to have 4 or 5 different shirts, to have Funko Pops, to have a fat head you can stick on your wall, to have notebooks, pens, and papers. And I know, I get it, it's all part of his revenue. But we're trying to make him feel special and different. The less merchandise he has, the more it's going to stand out from someone like, say, John Cena or Randy Orton or Kevin Owens. It's going to be different. It's going to be hard. Make it hard to get his merchandise. Make it so when it comes up, it's a limited item. They're only selling 100. Matter of fact, you can even take his merchandise, even though it would filter through the WWE store, make a different website for Bray Wyatt where he has his own merchandise on his own website, where you have to go there and see all of his preachings and see all a different style. When you order it, it orders off of his website, not through WWE, but ultimately it comes from WWE. It just gives it another little thing to make him special and different, in my opinion. Now, our number 5. This kind of goes along with the Bray rules thing, Bray Wyatt rules that I mentioned. When it comes time for him, his contract's up, and he's again, this is another situation where he's going to re-sign a contract with either SmackDown or Raw. I say, he says, no, I'm not going to sign any contract. I'm just going to show up whenever I want. And then you have him, he has the ability to wrestle on Raw, the ability to wrestle on SmackDown, the ability to go to the WWE UK show if he wants to, the ability to wrestle in NXT. To me, it just makes it more special. That gives him an area where he can recruit someone from the UK show. He can recruit a guy from 205 Live. He can recruit some NXT wrestlers. He can recruit someone from Raw, someone from SmackDown. Make him the one guy that transcends the brand split. The one guy that could go anywhere because he doesn't follow the rules. You can even make it a thing where he decided instead of signing with them, he signs with Vince McMahon, or he signs with Paul Heyman, or somebody that can make contracts where he can wrestle here, there, or anywhere. Or he just shows up. Either way you want to do it. To me, it would makes him stand out, makes him different, gives him a different aura that he can show up whenever and wherever he wants to. Now, our number 4 is something I think he drastically needs. I think they need to take some time off, let him feel special, let the fans clamor for his return, and then bring him back in 4 months, 5 months, 6 months. Bring him back through the vignettes again. Make everything new and fresh again. And give us a new take on the same guy. Let him recharge his batteries. Let him come back strong. Wipe away some of the losses he has. Wipe away some of the feuds he's lost. I can't honestly remember the last feud he came out being a winner of. So the further we can distance that from him being a strong competitor again, the more it's going to be easier for us to accept him as such. Now, our number 3, kind of akin to Brock Lesnar and The Undertaker before him, I think you can make Bray Wyatt an attraction, where he's not on every Monday Night Raw. He's not on every SmackDown. He shows up maybe once a month, where he shows up a couple times a month only in vignette, and you only see him wrestle at the pay-per-view. Or you don't see him on the pay-per-view for a month, or you don't see him for 2 months. He just shows up or does random things on vignette. Make it a special occasion for Bray Wyatt wrestling. I don't need to see Bray Wyatt versus Kurt Hawkins. I don't need to see Bray Wyatt versus Goldust. I don't need to see these random thrown together matches that mean absolutely nothing in the long term just to put some airtime on Raw or just to put some airtime on SmackDown or whatever show he's going to be on. Make him special. Make him something similar to Brock Lesnar, similar to The Undertaker, maybe not to that level where it's 2 or 3 months that you go without seeing him, but maybe you dial it back where he only wrestles on the pay-per-view. Like I said, it could work with the layer of protection theory I have. It could work with a lot of these suggestions I'm saying. Make him special, make him an attraction, make it something where you have, that if you want to see Bray Wyatt, you have to buy the network to watch the pay-per-view, or you have to buy a ticket to be there in person. You don't just see him on every Monday Night Raw. Now, our number 2 thing that we can do, give him a lengthy win streak. I want to see him win feuds. I want to see him win matches. I want to see him go undefeated for a while, like a good 6-8 month run where no one can beat him. He's unstoppable. He's running through everybody they put in front of him. Makes himself a monster again. Makes himself believable as that. Whereas when someone does finally beat him, it means something. It meant absolutely nothing for Randy Orton to beat him at WrestleMania because everybody thought that was going to happen. Everybody already knows from the way they've set him up and the way he's been used that ultimately the faces are going to get their comeuppance on him. That he's going to lose the feud. It's happened, like I said, I can't remember a feud he ended up coming out the winner of, so Maybe if you give him this, give him something for people to remember. And I know their thinking is wins and losses don't matter, but they do. They do when they rack up like the way his have racked up. Now, before we get to our number one, we do a little thing on our top 10s here called the best of the rest. Basically, it's stuff that was considered for the list and just barely missed it. First on our best of the rest is giving Bray a master, giving him a leader, someone who fits in that Sister Abigail role. It doesn't have to be a woman. He could be following the teachings of Jake the Snake Roberts, or Kevin Sullivan, or Raven, or The Undertaker even, or Kane, or whoever it may be. Give him someone that is giving him the orders, that's telling him what to do, and make him a weapon of theirs to take over the WWE. You know, give him someone that's controlling, like almost like the higher power gimmick was, but a little bit better done. Now, also on our best of the rest, have him become the guy that ends careers. Have him be the guy that when Big Show's ready to give up and finally stop wrestling, Bray Wyatt ends his career. When Mark Henry's ready to stop wrestling, he ends his career. When Goldust is ready, so on and so forth. R-Truth. All your guys, we have a number of guys that are on the roster that are getting up there in age, and they're probably going to be retiring within the next few years. Why not have Bray Wyatt be the reason that they do retire? Either he injures them so badly that they can't continue, or flat out beats them in retirement matches. Just saying, it'll be something that, again, makes him different and makes him interesting. Now, before we go into our number one, if you think we put something up too high, put something down too low, left something off the list altogether, let us know what you think. Hit us up on Facebook, hit us up on Twitter, leave a little message down here in the comments. Make sure you tweet that like button, share button, get these videos out everywhere. Have everybody coming and watching the videos that I produce for you guys. With that all being said, without further ado, our number one thing to fix Bray Wyatt, have him win the Royal Rumble and go on to win the championship at WrestleMania. I don't care which championship it is, Universal or WWE. As you see, I don't care if it's SmackDown or Raw that he's on. Let's make him special. Again, this is all this is coming to. Have him pick up a win at the Royal Rumble. Have him parlay that Royal Rumble win into a win at WrestleMania. Make him a champion. Make him someone that the fans want to either get behind or someone that they want to root for to get beat. With the way that WrestleMania is set up, either championship match doesn't necessarily have to be the main event. You can use the other match as a main event, or like they did this year, Undertaker vs. Reigns, a special attraction match as a main event. So why not, to build a guy up as the biggest heel in the company, have him win the Royal Rumble. If he has a family by then, a new Wyatt family, have them help him win the Royal Rumble. Have them help him win the championship. Then you put the championship in the grasps of your most evil competitor, of the guy that everybody's supposed to hate. Let the faces chase him. You build new faces up. You build him up as a monster heel. It makes the end payoff when someone like Seth Rollins or Sami Zayn or Dean Ambrose or whoever it may be finally beats him and takes the world championship back. It makes it more special. It makes it seem like they actually did something. But basically, that's all I have to say about that. Again, make sure to like and share this list. Let us know in your comments what you think about it. My name is George Coles, and this has been another Heel Heat Top 10.